Hello viewers, if you are new to the channel, please hit the like and subscribe button and share it with your friends. Also, click on the bell icon so that you get the latest information about the videos that are uploaded. Hello students, welcome back to the new video. In this video, we are going to continue the ongoing chapter number 9, Soil. In today's session, we will discuss about soil and crops, soil erosion, soil pollution and also soil conservation. Students, first of all, we will discuss about soil and crops. You know that in different parts of our country, different types of vegetation and crops are grown. Why it is so? Because the different types of soils are found in different regions. And the different types of soils are found in different regions because of the climatic factors. The soil is affected by wind, rainfall, sunlight, temperature and humidity. So, you know that India is a vast country. So, the rainfall or temperature or the sunlight or the wind format is not same everywhere in our country. Because of all these factors, the soils found in different regions are different. So, these are the climatic factors which affect the soil profile and bring changes in the soil structures. So, which are the climatic factors that bring changes in the soil profile? They are wind, rainfall, sunlight, temperature and humidity. All these together it is known as climatic factors. The climatic factors and as well as the components of the soil determine the types of vegetation and crops that grow in a particular region. So climatic factors as well as the soil components. This determine the vegetation and the crops that can grow in a particular area. Further, a soil suitable for the growth of plants has to be fertile, and the soil fertility refers to the ability of the soil to provide nutrients and suitable soil structure for the growth of the plants. That means soil fertility refers to factors. Which are they? How much soil nutrient it is providing and also the suitability of the soil structure for the growth of the plants. Now, let us discuss some examples of certain crops grown in the particular type of soil. First one, cereals like wheat and gram are grown in clayey and loamy soils. What is the reason? These soils have a better water holding capacity. Second, soils rich in clay and organic matter with good water retaining capacity are ideal for cultivation of paddy crop. Paddy means rice. It means that rice crops grow well in the clay soil with organic matter which can retain good amount of water. Now, loamy soils which drain water easily are suitable for the growth of lentils and other pulses. Lentil means masoor. So, the pulses can grow well in the loamy soils which drain water easily. Next, for growing cotton, sandy loamy soil is more suitable. Sandy loamy soil means loamy soil but a certain percentage of sand particles are more. Because the cotton needs the water draining and more air holding capacity. So, cotton grow well in the sandy loamy soil. Next, clay soils are rich in humus. That is means it is very fertile. So, these soils are very good for cultivating wheat. That means wheat can grow well in the clay soil. Now we will discuss about soil erosion. See, the gradual wearing down and carrying away of the topsoil by the action of flowing water, wind, waves and snow is called soil erosion. That means the topsoil, the fertile topsoil is carried away by the factors like wind, water, then waves, snow, etc. That is known as soil erosion. You know that the importance of topsoil. Topsoil is the most fertile soil where plants can grow. So if it is carried away by any factors, then that land will become barren. That means unsuitable for the growth of plants. See, due to the soil erosion, fertile soil is washed away, and this causes a decrease in the net fertile land available for cultivation. So the major effect of soil erosion is that the fertile land will be reduced. That is suitable for the cultivation of plants. That type of land will be decreased. Now let us see what are the causes of soil erosion. See, these causes can be natural or due to the action of human activities. See, first one, deforestation. The plant roots firmly bind to the soil. So when the trees are removed, soil becomes loose and is easily carried away by wind or flowing water. What does it mean? The roots of the plants hold the soil particles very firmly. But if the trees are cut or if we do the deforestation, then what will happen? The soil becomes loose, which will be easily carried away by the flowing water or wind. The next one is overgrazing. Overgrazing by the animals. When animals freely move about in the fields for grazing, they spoil the soil with their hooves. So the loose soil then easily carried away by the wind. Now, floods and heavy rainfall. They make the soil particles loose and lead to soil erosion. So when there is heavy rainfall, along with the flowing water, the loose soil can be carried away. Next is improper farming. For poor farming methods adopted by the farmers also add up to the soil erosion. What does it mean? The farming methods that are followed by the farmers are not proper. So this improper farming method also increase the soil erosion. Now let us discuss what is soil pollution. See, the contamination of soil due to the excessive use of fertilizers, herbicides, pesticides, etc. and dumping of industrial waste, sewage, garbage disposal, etc. is known as soil pollution. That means contamination of soil. Whatever the agent it may be, the contamination of soil is called as soil pollution. See, all these contaminants are called soil pollutants. Okay. Now let us see what are the causes of soil pollution. There are few reasons or few causes for soil pollution. Waste and sewage disposal into the soil. That means direct dumping of the waste and sewage into the soil causes soil pollution. Second, excessive uses of pesticides, insecticides, even fertilizers. See, the things which are useful for us, but if it is used in excess, the excess quantity of these chemicals go into the soil and cause soil pollution. Third one, disposal of chemical waste from industries. You know that in industries so many useful products are formed, but as a byproduct, whatever the chemicals are produced, if it is dumped into the soil directly, then that causes soil pollution. Next, disposal of plastic and metal waste. You know that plastic causes soil pollution because plastic does not get decomposed by the decomposers. So if anything made up of plastic or metal, if it is directly dumped into the soil, that will remain in the soil itself for long time and cause soil pollution. Now let us see what is soil conservation. Soil conservation is a combination of practices used to protect the soil from soil erosion and pollution. So it is a combined practices of preventing soil erosion as well as pollution. So it can be done by taking the following steps. Let us see one by one. First one, afforestation. As the name indicates, afforestation means to grow more trees. So the best way to conserve the soil is to increase the forest area by planting more trees. Why? Because trees act as a natural windbreakers and decrease the wind speed and thereby reduce the wind erosion. And also the roots of the trees and plants bind the soil particles together and prevent soil erosion. Next one is construction of embankments, small walls. These embankments constructed around the hilly areas prevent the flow of water around hill slope. So construction of embankment is also very useful method to prevent soil erosion. The next method of soil conservation is terrace farming. See, terrace farming controls the soil erosion in hilly areas. The land on slopes is cut into steps which prevent the topsoil from being washed away by the rainwater. So the hilly areas, the area is cut into slopes and terrace farming is done so that it will prevent the topsoil from being washed away by the rainwater. Next, taking overgrazing. See, overgrazing of forests and grasslands by animals, and that too especially goats and sheep, should be properly checked. That means overgrazing of the sheep and goats in the grassland should be controlled. Then to control that, what we should do? Separate grazing ground should be marked and fodder crops should be grown in large quantities. If fodder crops are available in large quantities, then the grazing can be controlled. Now let us discuss some of the methods to control the soil pollution. First one, organic farming. Excessive use of pesticides and fertilizers should be avoided by using natural manures. That means the farming that uses the organic fertilizers and manures are known as organic farming. Therefore, one should go for the organic farming and reduce the excessive use of pesticides and fertilizers. Next, proper disposal of solid waste. We know that so many harmful solid waste are produced in the industry. So this harmful solid waste generated in the industries should be treated properly before disposal into the soil. Means we cannot stop the generation of solid waste, but before it is dumping into the soil, it must be properly treated and made harmless. Next is proper treatment of industrial wastewater. In industry, lots of waste water is also produced. So this wastewater, industrial wastewater, is known as industrial effluent, should be treated properly and made harmless before releasing into the soil or water bodies. What is the reason? Effluents contain chemicals that can pollute the soil. So industrial water also should be treated properly and made harmless before releasing into the soil or in the water bodies. So these are some of the steps that one should take to reduce the soil pollution and soil erosion. So students, I hope you have understood all the topics very well. But still, if you have any doubt, you can write in the comment section. I will surely try to solve it as early as possible. Here are some review questions. Please solve it in your notebook. Thank you.